This drama has me feeling like we are watching a soap opera, and I love it. First story, I discovered my wife's family was behind my vicious cyberbullying attack. My wife knew, but she hid it for years. How do I move past this? Smack my ass and call me Judy. I don't know what that phrase is from or what it means, but I remember saying it as a kid all the time. This story is hot off the press, baby. July 25th, 2025. My marriage is in a really bad spot after a deep breach of trust. I don't know how to recover or how to trust my wife again. For some context, we've been together 7 years and married 5. We have a child, 2 male. We met at a con. I thought her cosplay was amazing, struck up a conversation, and the rest is history. She is the most loving, unselfish, and decent person I've ever met. Our relationship was never without its challenges. Our biggest obstacle was her family. My presence was unwelcome. They're very close-knit, and if one doesn't accept you, then you're not getting far. There are a few family members who broke away from the pack, but no one hardly acknowledges me. They're no contact and black sheep. I didn't know how my wife's family was, but I did know family was extremely important to her. Her whole upbringing was based on family, so I tried everything in my power to make it work. They didn't really put up with me until our son. Between our wedding planning to shortly before the wedding, I was the target of some relentless and vicious cyberbullying. It got personal. Fake bad reviews polluted my business profile too. It cost me some potential clients. I didn't know where it came from or why. I couldn't find a solution. I'd report, but it would take a while for anything to be done, or there would be more accounts coming out for another round. The whole thing impacted my life and my mental health. It took a toll. My wife was incredibly supportive. She was my rock and my best friend. I loved her even more for her care and how she held me down. Then the trolling and everything stopped. I wanted nothing more than to move on. I put it all behind me until the other day my wife confessed that her family was behind the harassment. I didn't believe her at first, but she was so serious and showed me proof in their family group chat. It felt like I was right back there again. They were gloating and justifying themselves, saying stuff like, some people gotta learn the hard way, and if he wants to join the fold, here's his initiation. How old are we? That's such a bizarre perspective to have. I knew I wasn't their favorite person, but I never realized they hated me and would go to such extremes. I asked my wife when she found out and if she was a part of it. She swore she wasn't and that she would never do that to me. She claimed she didn't initially know it was her family until a few months before our wedding. One of my sister-in-laws, 28 female, left a profile on her phone and my wife saw it. She confronted her family and made them stop. I asked why she was telling me everything now. She said it was weighing on her and she opened up to her eldest sister, 35 female, one of the family's black sheep. She threatened to tell me the truth if my wife didn't. Nothing my wife said made it better. She knew for years what her family did and hid it from me. She kept everything quiet. It hurts more coming from her because she knew firsthand my pain. Also, it would hurt that she would want to continue to have a relationship with these people because it's almost like you're condoning their behavior by not telling him and by not cutting off ties with them, because that's affecting someone's business and just attacking them online like that. Like, that could ruin someone's entire life, let alone their mental health. I was pretty numb. My wife was anxious and kept pushing for me to say something. I told her there wasn't anything she could say right now that would make it okay. What she did was no better than her family. They made my life hell. My first instinct was to cover for them. She started crying and begged me to understand. She said it wasn't like that, and she was trying to make things right with as little damage as possible and mend relationships. I wasn't even receptive to her. She wasn't reaching me. I couldn't help her or myself. I told her I needed some time to clear my head. She was against it. She said we could work through this together, but I was firm on space. Space isn't a request she respected. I'm really trying to understand her side. I'm trying to move past it, but I feel so betrayed. I trusted her more than anyone. I'm my most vulnerable with her. I kept opening up to her after the incident, even after she knew the truth. She encouraged me to try to let it go and not allow it to have any claim on me. I thought she had my best interests in mind. Now I just see it as her attempt to protect her family yet again. I haven't confronted anyone involved. I don't think they're worth it, but I've made it clear they're no longer allowed to see our son until further notice. Now I'm getting texts about how I'm depriving my child of grandparents and aunts over past family splats. One of the hardest parts is the distance from my wife. She's my best friend and partner in every way. Now we're mostly only communicating about our son and other household necessities. She is hurt by my rejection and she's been crying often. I don't know if I'm being unfair to her. I hate all of this. I want to make our marriage work, but I'm questioning our relationship up until now. I'm really just lost. I need an outside perspective. How do I navigate the situation and move forward for my marriage and myself? I would have such a hard time moving on from that because that is such a break of trust. And the fact that I kept confiding in you and you knew the truth, and then your response to me was obviously not true because you knew your family was doing it and you're giving me advice based on that knowledge. Yeah, I would feel so betrayed. We do have an update though, so let's see what he decided to do and if they worked it out. This update came 4 days ago on August 1st. Obviously at the time of my recording because I film ahead. Earlier this week, my wife and I were able to regroup and hash stuff out. I was glad I took some space, I did, because even though the situation is still hurtful, it feels like a massive betrayal. I was in a better position to talk now. My wife thought I was calling it quits, but I told her we were at a crossroads and needed to talk things out. She apologized for what her family did and her role in it. She said she never intended to hurt me. She had convinced herself she was protecting me from more pain. She realizes now she was largely protecting herself. She admitted she was afraid of telling me the truth because she thought it wouldn't just end the wedding, but that it would end the relationship. She lost other relationships and friendships over her family. She didn't want to lose me too. So maybe we should reconsider our relationship with our family. If you're losing people over your family's actions and they're doing this to someone you love and care about, is that really family? Just my opinion and thought. Over the years, she wanted to tell me but kept talking herself out of it, and then the cover-up kept getting bigger, and then she didn't know how to confess. I told her I didn't agree with her choices and I wish she had just put more trust in me and our relationship. I meant it too. I wouldn't have just ditched her. She asked where we go from here and promised no matter the outcome, there would be no more secrets between us. I told her I wanted to work on our marriage, but things needed to change. We couldn't survive with her family looming and I didn't want our son exposed to them. She asked what I needed of her. I was never big on ultimatums and I don't really consider this one. But I was adamant that any path of us moving forward together would mean radical boundaries with her family. She was honest that the thought of making this big of a move against her family was scary, but said if it's between them and us and our son, then she chooses us. Her agreement was major for me because I really didn't know where she would land if she had to choose. I never wanted to put her in that position, but after everything her family did, I feel there is no other way. The reason I have hope that my wife is being for real is because she sent a text to their group chat stating to stop blowing up my phone and that the no access to our son until further notice is a joint decision she fully supports. I didn't expect that of her. She did it on her own. Of course, they didn't like it. Now she's labeled as disrespectful and ungrateful and how the black sheep's eldest sister and I are poisoning her against them. It was also said, quote, "What kind of man takes a woman away from her family over a spat?" This isn't a spat, nor do I have anything to prove about manhood. They led a whole campaign designed to ruin my life. Their actions are chilling to me. They are the same people who looked me in the eyes with a straight face while everything was going on. This is about protecting my family. My wife has gone out of contact. Her family has this mindset that significant others and friends come and go, and it's family who is constant and where loyalty should be. They can't seem to compute that my wife, our son, and I are core family. They're an extended family and they don't have a claim over our son. Being involved with him is a privilege, not a right. I don't know what their exact issue is with me. They only really tolerated me because of our son. When I first met them, one of my wife's siblings said that they thought my wife was settling for me because of age and that she could do better. Our plan is to move to a new area to create a healthier distance, cement boundaries, and have a fresh start. I brought up therapy too. It's something we've been discussing. discussing. We'll be officially starting that soon. I'm thinking moving away will be beneficial for us. It's something my eldest sister-in-law has advised us on. During the wedding planning, she was encouraging my wife to move and create our own space away from their family's isolating circle. I know my wife is more than just her family. I've seen it firsthand. She shines so bright when away from their influence. That's what I meant when I said that she was the most loving, unselfish, and decent person I've ever met. If I'm being honest, I don't know how things will turn out. I'm still hurt, I still feel betrayed, and my wife is facing her own challenges with low contact, but I want to be hopeful. I don't want to close the door. I'm hoping we can heal together. Would you guys have been so forgiving on this? Would you? Let me know. I'm curious. And a little bit nosy, if I'm being honest. Next story. Tomorrow, my boyfriend is going to ask me to marry him, and I'm going to say no. That's going to be one very awkward proposal. Don't even let him propose. Tell him now. Say, listen, I know you're gonna propose. Don't, because I'm gonna say no. I feel like if I don't tell someone, even strangers, I will explode. The ache in my heart is only getting worse, and I don't know what I can do to change how I feel. If I had one wish right now, it would be to somehow magically change how I feel. A week ago, I found the ring. I think it was a week ago. He knew exactly what ring to buy. A girl can't ask for a more beautiful ring. It's been in his family for years. He also got a backup ring. I also know he asked my dad's permission and that my dad gave it to him despite both of us being young. Well, young-ish. My family has always loved him so much. I think they will feel equally awful after tomorrow. I wish I didn't find the ring. Maybe if I didn't have time to think about it, I would just say yes, but that's not fair to either of us. I'll miss him. I'll miss his scent, his hugs, his laugh, the way he doesn't make me feel dumb when I tell him I don't know something. He'll just explain it to me. No judgment. I'll miss the chemistry we have, how even after years of being together, we still want each other just as much. But I won't miss the jealousy, the possessiveness, and the way he feels like he owns me. When we first got together, I thought I could live with his flaws. After all, I wasn't perfect either. But when I saw that ring, I knew that I couldn't. I want to be able to have friends, even if they are the opposite gender. I want to talk to my coworkers without somebody feeling jealous or threatened. I want someone to have a girls' night. I want a relationship where my partner doesn't act possessive in the name of being protective. I want someone who won't scream at me, ask me to get in the car and leave with him just because a male friend asked me to hang out. I get why he does it. I understand him. I love him. He's insecure, and I get that. He wants to protect me, but he doesn't understand that he's hurting me trying to do this. I can't constantly fight and defend myself. That is not the life I see myself having. I feel like he doesn't trust me even after years of being nothing but loyal. I feel selfish. I promised him I would never leave him. I promised him I would stay and love him forever. I promised we'd grow old together and we'd share families together. He's even trying to be better for me. But it just wouldn't be fair to him to have a wife who, even if only for a few moments, resents him. I hope he wants to continue our relationship, even though I'll say no. I want to keep all of my promises, just not now with the way that we are. I feel like I'm drowning. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to disappoint everyone I know. I hope I wake up tomorrow and magically change my mind. Yeah, I hope you don't. Sorry. But everything you just described is not what you want in a marriage. So I hope you stick to this decision, truly, because I don't think you should be signing up for marriage right now. And I think you see that. And I hope you continue to see that. All right? Because girl has been there, not the marriage, but in the relationship. And I stayed way longer than I should have. Now we have an edit on this original post. The reason why I'm not telling him no now, I've considered that, but from how much I know him, it will be better if I answer when he asks me. Kinder. I know he'll want the chance to do it properly because otherwise he'll keep wondering like, what if she didn't find the ring? What if I did it right? What if she just freaked out, etc. I know him and this is 100% the better way for him to find out, at least considering the other option. It is not a public proposal. I don't know. I feel like a conversation would go far. I don't know. That's weird. It's a weird position to be in. I don't know what I would actually do. We do have an update though, and that came 3 days later. So I'm curious to see if she stuck to her decision or not. But let's hydrate first. Drink some water today, all right? Cheers. So the update came 3 days later. I apologized for the very confusing way in which I worded my original post and the last update. English is not my first language. Just to clarify a few things that people found confusing. He already had the family ring with him. It is his great-grandmother's, but he bought one more, a whole other ring, just in case I didn't like the family one. The backup ring was more modern. I assumed right in thinking that he planned to propose with the family ring and then give me the backup ring as a modern alternative. Also, I am 25 female and he is 26 male. We have been together for 5 years. It will be 6 this Christmas. A lot of people were asking me why I'd want to stay in this relationship since I talked about how even though I was not ready to get married, I'd still want to be with my boyfriend. It's basically because I have faith in us. I want to help him and I want to try everything I can before giving up on us. I love him and his qualities and lovable quirks, and they are so much more than his flaws. I know he had a not so good childhood, which doesn't help with the insecurities. See, all I'm hearing is that you want to try to help and you want to try and fix. What about him? But does he want to get help? Does he want to fix things about himself? That's the kicker, girlfriend. Rather than leave him and lose everything we had, I want to try. Of course, this is all only applicable if I'm happy. I'm still prioritizing myself. I just want to help him with this too. All right, so the update. I ended up talking to him before he proposed. Thank goodness. At first, I was so sure that it was better to wait, but a few helpful comments made me realize I'd forever ruin the magic and beauty that comes with proposals if I let him actually do it, only for me to say no. So I texted him and told him to come back home from work as soon as possible. My brother knew I was telling him about my decision just in case things got messy. Not that I think my boyfriend would ever hurt me, but I was just overall very chaotic in my emotions, and I felt like I would need someone with me if we broke up. He came home, I cooked dinner, and we sat together at the table. He could tell I found the ring. I knew that he knew the moment I looked at his face. I'm not sure how to best describe it in English, but there was a certain sadness in the air that I couldn't quite understand. Not your typical sadness. I don't know. Anyways, I told him about the ring and he asked me if the answer was yes. I couldn't speak really, but he answered it for himself and said, obviously the answer is no, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this. Touche. He asked me the reason and I explained as much as I could. He listened, I cried, and then he cried. Then we just held each other. He was not angry at all, and now I feel guilty for thinking that he would scream at me or something. I told him I still love him and I just didn't want to get married now. He said okay and that he wanted to be a better person for me before calling me his wife. I asked him if that meant he wanted to try something like therapy, and he said yes. He was very hurt, though I could tell. It pained me to see someone I love go through this, but this was the only option. I didn't want to get married while he was still this way. We cried more, we went for a walk, and I felt hopeful about our relationship for the first time in a while. I think we forgot that love isn't always enough, as someone pointed out in the comment section. I want to understand him more, and I can see that he wants to try and be better with his insecurities and instincts. I know it will be slow, the whole process. I know he won't magically change, but I'm okay with that. I'm booking an appointment soon. We have been having more honest conversations, especially me, by telling him how hurt I was by some of the things he does. It felt good to communicate like that. He opened up to me too about his insecurities and whatnot. All right. She stuck to her decision. I'm happy they had a chat. And at least if you go to therapy, you try to do the work and it still doesn't work out, you can feel good in your heart that you tried. My boyfriend of 5 years just ghosted me. Well, come haunt me, because where the are you? This story was posted May 23rd, 2025. I've been with my boyfriend since the start of 2020 when we met in med school. We've had some tiffs over the years, but we never had a super serious fight that would lead to a breakup. However, every time we had a small argument over anything, he would always disappear and go over a day without talking to me. And all of those times I had to be the one to chase him. He never, not even once, messaged me after a fight or argument. We'll be graduating graduating this year and my grandpa wanted to give me a holiday, like a 7 to 10 days in a nearby country for my graduation. I already knew this would be a problem because my boyfriend is a jealous person. I told him about the gift and said he's welcome to come with me, but obviously my grandpa would not be paying for his trip. He has no money since we're med students graduating this year and have no source of good income yet, and said he did not like this idea and that it made him feel insecure. I tried to be very understanding and respectful, and I asked him if he thinks I'll cheat on him just because I'm on a trip for 10 days. He said that's not the issue, but also did not clarify what the issue was then. The next day, I tried to continue talking to him normally, but he was clearly being weird and distant. The day after that, we had a class together, and he treated me like crap in front of everyone. That was it for me. I decided I would not be overcompensating or blowing sunshine up his ass for something that isn't wrong. That night, he sent me a goodnight text, to which I replied. That was Tuesday. Today's Friday, and he never messaged or contacted me again, and neither did I. I know not talking is childish AF, but I really don't want to be humiliated and go chase him yet again. I think this time, if he doesn't want to talk to me anymore, I'll just let him. Am I missing something? Girl, that's what you have me asking. Am I missing something? How do you just ghost your partner in a 5-year relationship? That's not a partnership at that point. That's crazy. We have an update that came very recently, July 25th, 2025, 2 months later. I couldn't take the pressure of not talking at all. Girl. So I ended up reaching out to him. We had a conversation and talked about our insecurities, the fact that I'll always want to do things on my own and that I want him to do things on his own. And I thought we sorted things out. Then fast forward a few weeks. I mentioned again going on my trip and he absolutely lost it. Told me he didn't want to be in a relationship where the other part was constantly doing things on their own. This was the second time I traveled during our 5-year relationship. It turned into an endless discussion over me not wanting to waste my grandpa's gift versus him not wanting me to go anywhere. He ended up giving me an ultimatum. Either I would stay with him or I would travel. Mind you, this trip would be 8 days long. I tried telling him how much I love him and how much I want to be with him, but I still want to enjoy things by myself, especially if the reason is that he can't come. It didn't work. On July 2nd, he broke up with me. He left my house at 7 p.m. and had deleted all of our pictures by 8 a.m. He never contacted me again, ever, for any reason. I went on the trip. It was great. Yes! Girl, I am so freaking happy you stuck to this trip and you actually went on it. Screw this guy. Bye. The second you gave me an ultimatum, I would have already been packing my bag. I ended up meeting with some friends from home who were coincidentally at the same place. I came back a week ago. I feel completely lost, guilty, and lonely. Oh, I feel like I'm a bad person who hurt a good person. I think about messaging him to try to work things out at least once every 10 minutes. I feel so bad. I don't think he will ever get back together with me, so my sense of self-preservation stops me from trying to reach out. I'm writing this in my room. It's 5 past midnight and I can't stop crying. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't think we're compatible anymore, but he's the person I spent basically my entire adult life with. That's hard. Your first real breakup in adulthood it's a rough one. There's a lot of tough lessons you gotta learn along the way sometimes. This is one of them. All right, girl, you need to flourish, you need to fly, you need to book the trip and go on the trip, and you need a partner who supports it. If they can't join you, they can support you. All right? Let me know your thoughts, you guys, on these stories. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy, you'll do. Stay sassy. Bye.